Sato, clearly puzzled, asked, "Why are we at a department store? Don't we need food?" Without even glancing at him, Miki and Karin continued walking inside. Sato tried to stay optimistic. Maybe there's a warehouse here or something, he thought. As they entered the store, it was clear that the place was a wreck. The aisles were a mess, and it was eerily quiet. No one in their right mind would come here during a zombie apocalypse because, well, there's no food. Sato's gut feeling was spot on, and he couldn't help but yell, "There's no food here." Miki shot him a look. "Stop yelling, unless you want to invite zombies over for a shopping spree. Then why come here if there's no food?" Sato asked, still confused and frustrated. "I'm looking for something," Miki replied cryptically. Sato's curiosity piqued. But why a department store? His question was soon answered when Karin found what they were searching for. A drone. Both Sato and Karin were amazed by the high-tech gadget. The resolution was crystal clear, exactly what Miki had been hoping for. "Hey now, Sato, aren't drones supposed to be up top?" Sato, now even more bewildered, shouted, "This isn't the point. What good is a toy when we're out of food?" Karin just laughed, and Miki began her explanation. "The drone isn't just a toy. It's our scout. In an apocalypse, information is more valuable than anything," she continued, explaining that driving here without GPS was tricky. They only made it because she had memorized multiple routes. Whenever they encountered trouble, she quickly adjusted, avoiding blocked roads and keeping them on course. Sato is just how lucky he was to have someone like Miki on his side. But memorizing routes has its limits. Miki is brilliant, but she's still human. Moving around without knowing what lies ahead is a surefire way to get them all killed. That's where the drone comes in. It's their eye in the sky. With it, they can avoid blocked roads, steer clear of zombie hordes, and even scout for food without putting themselves in danger. Sato was stunned, impressed by how far ahead Miki had thought this through. Yet, there was something about the way she smiled that made him a little uneasy, as if she had more plans for the drone than she was letting on. Karin, ever the opportunist, chimed in, "I want a super big TV," she shouted. Sato shook his head, "There's nothing to watch anyway." Karin wasn't deterred. "We can watch DVDs," she said. Sato pointed out the obvious flaw in her plan. "The van is toast, and a giant TV isn't exactly portable. We need a new vehicle," he suggested. Miki reassured him, pointing outside to a large truck parked nearby. Sato stared at the truck, doubting it is too big. But Miki was unfazed. "It'll do, although it's still not big enough. With that, we can haul everything." Miki decided they'd camp out in the department store for the night and gather food in the morning. Morning came, and with the drone's help, navigating the city was a breeze. They filled the truck almost to the brim with food and supplies, raiding stores that had somehow avoided the initial pillaging. Along the way, they dispatched a few zombies, making the whole process seem almost too easy. This ease unnerved Sato. It shouldn't be this simple, should it? Karin, however, was thrilled, praising Miki for how amazing she wouldn't have survived day one without her. Sato agreed, giving Karin credit as well. "You're pretty awesome yourself too. Also you were friends with her before all this, right?" But Miki quickly corrected him, "We weren't friends. We were just in the same classroom." Before she could say more, the truck abruptly stopped. Miki grabbed her phone and calmly announced, "Get ready. The school gate is open, which means someone's here." After learning that someone had entered the school, the group rushed to investigate. Was it an ally, or were they about to face a new enemy? The timing was suspicious. Who would just happens to find the school while they're away? With serious expressions, ready to confront whatever lay ahead, they cautiously approached the building. When they finally spotted the intruder, Sato's tension evaporated. There was no hardened survivor or dangerous enemy in sight. Instead, they found a guy up a tree, surrounded by zombies, crying his eyes out. Karin couldn't help but laugh at the poor guy's predicament. The man, desperate and in tears, begged them for help. Karin's laughter only made his situation seem more pathetic. But after saving him and bringing him back to their temporary base, they offered him a cup of coffee. After thanking them profusely, the man introduced himself as Isawa. He confessed that if they had arrived even a little later, he might have been a goner. Yet, before he could finish his sentence, Karin, never one to hold back, joked that he would have made a great new best friend for the zombies. "Karin can't read the room, isn't she? What a carefree girl." Sato then asked the obvious question, "Why did you come to the school?" "We shut the gate, turned off the lights, made it look completely deserted. There's nothing valuable here. Aisawa explained that it was because of the fire a few days ago. Since the outbreak, things had been quiet, so when he saw the fire, he assumed there were other survivors. The explanation made sense, but Miki wasn't convinced. His actions itself is suspicious. Sato tried to defend Aisawa, saying he was just looking for other survivors. But Miki wasn't buying it. How could someone who can't even handle 2 zombies survive this long? And he looked pretty healthy too, suspiciously well fed for someone living through a zombie apocalypse. If he had that much food, why would he risk coming to the school? Cornered, Aisawa began to tell his story. He spoke of how 4 thugs had taken over his group, treating the others like cattle. They were just biding their time before getting rid of them. Karin, puzzled, asked why they didn't just fight back. After all, there were only 4 thugs. Aisawa explained that those who had tried in the past were sent on suicide missions and never returned. Half the survivors sided with the thugs, leaving the losers to do the dangerous jobs. The women, especially, suffered the worst fates, used and discarded as the thugs saw fit. That's why Aisawa had come to the school, hoping to find someone who could help. Sato, moved by Aisawa's story, felt they should help. It was only right to assist decent people in need. He didn't know exactly how, but with Miki on their side, anything seemed possible. They had survived this long because of her after all. But Miki took a deep breath and nonchalantly said, "It's such a hassle." Sato was shocked. There had to be something they could do. He turned to Karin, but she just asked, "Why should we help? They're not our friends. The 3 of us are fine on our own." Miki then posed the question, "Do you really want to save them?" Without hesitation, Sato answered yes. They were in trouble, and it was natural to help, especially considering the fate of those poor girls. He pointed at Aisawa, emphasizing that he had risked his life to ask for help, even crossing zombie-infested streets. Miki pressed on, asking if Sato was sure about how he felt. Sato confirmed that he was. Then Miki dropped the bombshell. If he was that determined, would he be willing to kill those scumbags to save the others? Sato answered without hesitation, but then realized the gravity of what Miki was asking. Miki smiled, half expecting him to argue. To save those people, the thugs would have to die. There was no other way. Sato started to waver, questioning if it was really necessary. Miki didn't disappoint. She explained that sparing the thugs would only lead to revenge. And what about their lackeys? If they got caught in a tough spot, wouldn't they be the ones needing rescue? Finally, Miki asked the hardest question. Who do you care about more, us, or those scumbags? Sato stammered but finally admitted that it was Miki and Karin he cared about most. Now that he had agreed, Miki and Karin assumed he might object to the idea of killing, but it seemed they could count on him to handle the dangerous tasks. Sato, realizing what he had just agreed to, felt a wave of terror. He had been tricked by those 2, but before he could dwell on it, Aisawa interrupted. Grateful for their willingness to help, he nervously asked how many people they had. Miki calmly replied, "There's only 3 of us." Aisawa, now more worried than ever, tried to stop them, but Miki reassured him, saying she had strong, able-bodied soldiers she could rely on. Sato paled at the thought, while Aisawa looked utterly confused.